folks, we'll be getting started pretty soon. We're trying this again on my laptop. We haven't really improved anything. We're just changing the position of where we're locating the laptop. So I appreciate you bearing with us in the fact that there are any technical difficulties. If there are, we'll get those switched out quickly and we'll resume services as we normally do from our normal position. But I do want to kind of give this a shot and see if we can get some more professionalism in our broadcasts. So I appreciate you guys sticking with us for these bench tests. And Carlo, I know you're out there. You're preferring to see us fail, but if you would, give us your blessing and your prayers that we don't run into any more technical difficulties.
Carlo, you're a fail.
No, Carlo's a decent. He's a decent man.
Does that mean you're going to?
I can do the demonstration.
Well, we're going to change all the stuff.
Oh, so none of that stuff. So what we can do is, if it ends up working, we'll just remove our logos and go from there. I can put the clock on, but we don't necessarily need to do that either. So this is more or less just. We're broadcasting now. What's that?
And they're a little bit delayed behind us, right?
A little bit.
By how much?
Yeah.
20 seconds?
Here.
10 seconds?
It's probably. So if we want to view comments, we can view them here. Do you usually have this running?
Well, I just want to be able to tell them that there's a delay.
Well, they know there's a delay. There's always a delay.
Oh,
Yeah, there's always a delay. Well, but what do you usually look? Do you usually have this running?
Yeah.
Like the video.
That just stays there, right?
That just stays there like that. All right. So then you can talk via comments. All right. Well, that's.
But where are you recording from right now?
It's recording from. The way it works is, what does it matter? It's a broadcasting software that's on the laptop.
I can't see where I am or where you are, or I need to be able to see what's happening.
All right. I see what you're saying. Okay. I thought you were looking at me when we were doing the other demonstrations. You want to see this screen?
Yeah, I need to be able to see that I can see you and that everything's in the frame. You know what I mean?
Got it. Okay. But you won't be able to see comments, is what I'm saying. Not just yet.
Well, I'll watch the comments from my phone.
You can do that. All right.
All right, guys, we're going to give it, I think it's a little bit longer of a delay. He's not telling me exactly because I don't think we know, but
It's 10 to 15 seconds.
10 to 15 seconds. So we're going to start at like 5:05. We'll go over the warm up. So if I'm a couple seconds before that, that's why, okay?
So they don't know that there's a delay. Like only their comments coming to us will be delayed.
But you're not having my phone.
Correct. Yeah. If you go to your phone, you'll see the 10-second delay because you'll have the video playing and you'll see the comments. So guys, don't forget to log into Wodify and also check in on Facebook. Hashtag again is not necessary, but make sure you do those two things. Log into Wodify for the at-home WOD and check in on Facebook.
so as we try this, I'll have my phone out for comments or questions if anybody has anything. So we're going to start off our warm up. Thanks. Okay, so we're going to start our warm up. You guys have 2 rounds. We're going to start off with 30 reverse scorpion tails, 15 to the left, 15 to the right, obviously alternating. That's how you get the little tail. Oh my God, look at that. You get 15 push-ups, 30-second calf stretch, 15 on the left leg, 15 on the right leg, 30 air squats, 15 jumping jacks, and then 30-second inverted hold of whatever inversion style you like, okay? So for the scorpion tails, I think everybody knows them. Joe's just gonna lay flat on his back, arms out like a little angel. Opposite foot to opposite hand. Let it ring in a little bit, take your time on it. We only got 2 rounds of this, so we're gonna take 10 or 12 minutes to warm ourselves up. To the opposite side. Good, we're gonna go into your push-ups. So you guys know your push-ups, keep it nice and tight, even though it's only a warm-up. Don't do another one of those, flip over, please. He's gonna give me a nice tight line. Whether his knees are on the ground, doesn't matter to me, as long as everything stays in a nice straight piped line from shoulder to either knee or shoulder all the way down to ankle, chest touches the floor, then he's gonna press back out to that same lockout that he's starting in. Praise. Never know where it's supposed to go.
Sit. Go sit.
All right, calf stretch. Find whatever you have, it really doesn't matter. He can even go up against the plate there if he wants to, or over against the box. Put the ball of your foot up against whatever item you have, and then just kind of work your hips towards it. Keep your knee as locked as possible as long as there's comfort there. You should feel the stretch from the heel up to about the top of the calf. You got 30 air squats. I don't think you need to hear about an air squat, but just make sure you keep them nice and deep. We're going to be doing a lot of leg movements today, and we tie up with a nice lengthy squat cash out. So make sure you continue along with that depth as though we're watching. You got 15 jumping jacks. Make sure you're working through your shoulders on your jumping jacks, so try not to ignore the arms and keep them low. Try to get up nice and tall. Good. And that's only 15. And then lastly, you're going to do a 30-second inversion hold. So Joe's going to just demonstrate down dog. So we did it yesterday, actually. So all he's trying to do is get as much weight over his shoulders as possible. Again, he's stretching through the calves on this one, pushing his chest through his shoulders, trying to get as much weight in the shoulders as possible. You can do a kick up to handstand. You can do a handstand on the box, whatever makes sense for you. Okay. All right, so we're going to do 2 rounds of that. We'll give it like 10 minutes or so. If there's any questions, just go ahead and pop them on because I'm watching any questions from my phone.
After a while, we'll be able to integrate comments, and you'll be able to see them right on the screen. How many of these do we have? 20? Like in his bed? Yeah, he's behind the beat. Like in the beat? Sit down.
think. All right, guys. We're gonna start going over instruction. So hopefully someone out there is working out with us. This sucks so bad. Oh, can't wait till it's over. Bill had posted something about like his time going down. He was wondering like what's everybody else going through. So it's a real situation. Resting is like at the top of my list every single workout. So really got to figure out how to get that to stop, but I don't think it will until we're back in the gym training together. So for now, I'm just gonna keep pushing, even if it's slowly. All right, so our workout today is going to be our workout is going to be 3 rounds. But before we do that, let's touch on the cash out real quick. We're going to do 100 reps, regardless of what you decide. If you have a med ball and you have a safe place to throw the ball to a target, then you guys are going to be doing wall ball. So it's going to be 100 wall ball. You guys probably remember a little bit about wall ball. We used to do a bizarre amount of wall ball. No, we don't. So 100 wall ball or 100 med ball cleans. Or cleans, squat cleans in general. So you can use your kettlebell, you can use your dumbbell, you can use your med ball. If you don't have any item that you feel safe doing it with, then you can do an air clean, okay? So just basically working your way through your triple extension with a nice big shrug. I guess we're just past this at this point. So we're gonna work on our triple extension with a nice big shrug, okay? Triple into a shrug. Triple into a shrug. Okay, and then we're going to start to transfer ourselves under, whether it be fake ball, a real ball, a kettlebell, a dumbbell, whatever it is, but try to make sure you're not pulling it up to your chest. So don't pull the arms way up. Allow the ball to be released and then sneak yourself under it. So can you show us a rip of the ball real quick? He's going to leave the ball to hover at hip height, and then he's going to sneak himself underneath it. Woo. Very nice. And stand tall. Remember not to bring your apparatus, even if you're using a fake apparatus, remember not to bring it down until you stand tall with it at that front rack level, okay? If you're doing wall ball, if you need a little reminder of what wall ball is, all you're doing is going through your squat and then tossing that ball to your target, whatever that might be. So again, you choose the target, you choose the weight, but you're looking for 100 reps, okay? All right, so our workout is going to be 3 rounds. You guys have 18 front squats. That can be goblet squat if you're more familiar with that as far as doing the kettlebell. So 18 reps there. Then you're going to move on to 18 overhead lunge. The overhead lunge is going to be 9 with your left arm, 9 with your right arm. Go back and forth as many times as you want. The legs are mandatory alternating. Then you have 18 bar facing burpees. You have 18 front rack step ups. That's going to be 9 with your left leg, 9 with your right leg. Then you have 18 overhead squats, 9 with your right arm, 9 with your left arm, and then you have 70 double unders, 3 rounds of that. Your front squats, we ask that you guys use a dumbbell or a kettlebell today. So what you're looking for, you can hold one side. If you're using a dumbbell like Joe is going to display, you can use one head of the dumbbell to hold it so it's more in like a goblet style position, or you can flip it so that you have it in a true front rack position with your hands closer to your shoulders. So the squat doesn't change regardless of the way that you hold it. Hips below parallel, elbows stay as tall as possible, stand nice and tall to finish that squat. Good, hips and knees extend, you have the shoulders stacked on top, and he's one pretty straight line. Try to make sure you don't miss that mark. If you're holding both sides of the dumbbell, again, you get a little bit of a better front rack position with that. So elbows nice and tall, and then your hands and your wrists are just a little bit more towards that true front rack position, although still a touch narrow. okay? If you're using a kettlebell, we don't have one anymore, right? No. We don't have one anymore, but you're holding it in the goblet position. Point the handle whichever way you want. It could be up, down, to the side, doesn't matter, as long as it's truly in that front rack position, okay, right in the middle there. You have 18 overhead lunges. So again, you're doing 9 with the left arm, 9 with the right arm. The legs are mandatory alternating, so you're already getting half and half. Your lockout for your overhead lunge, make sure that you are truly focused on keeping that elbow and that shoulder completely locked up and stabilized, okay? Use your lat to support that weight a little bit, get that scap involved, and make sure that you keep the bicep as close to the ear as possible so that you're in full control of that dumbbell the entire time, or kettlebell. If that kettlebell starts to break you down, let's see that elbow break a little bit, that shoulder starts to get soft, you probably need something a little bit lighter, so maybe you look for a different household object to use, okay? So he's going to take that, are you just using the air? Okay. So he's going to keep the dumbbell locked out completely over that shoulder. Make sure it's not off to the side or forward of your frontal plane. It should be dead smack in the middle. He's going to go ahead and take a step forward with whatever leg he chooses. Knee touches the ground. He's going to drive off of that front leg to get back to where he came from, and then swap out for the opposite leg. Back knee touches the ground, and he comes back. That would have been 2 reps towards his right arm, okay? Again, swap out as many times as you want to. That's perfectly fine, as long as you get the 9 on one arm, 9 on the other arm. Okay, good. Careful on that knee. Make sure it's nice and soft. You have 18 bar-facing burpees. 18 bar-facing burpees. So your chest and your thighs are going to make contact with the floor. So he's kind of jumping back and melting into the floor with his head directly in front of the bar. It can't be over the bar. My entire body, including the crown of my head, is behind the bar. Melts into the floor. He can either step in or jump in. And he's going for that hop 2-foot takeoff over the bar. He can land however he wants. So if it's a pit-pat landing, that's perfectly fine. But he absolutely must take off with 2 feet. You know, Joe loves a nice, good bar-facing burpees. See how that's his little trick there, using those arms, that little arm pump. Get yourself a little bit lighter on the way up. So maybe you try that out for today. All right, then you have your front rack step-ups. So your front rack position is going to be just like this guy right here, your front squats. So if you, again, want to hold one head of the dumbbell, you could do that. Both heads gives you a better, more towards a front rack position. And if you're using a kettlebell, you're doing a goblet. So you're going to take that bell directly into that front rack position. Remember, as you go to step up, I plant 1 foot, making sure it's pretty much full foot on the box, so I have that safety element. And I'm not only going to drive into that leg, I'm going to hop off of that back leg to give myself a little bit of accelerated momentum to get myself up to that on top of the box and allowing myself to feel a little bit lighter as I do. So driving into that front leg, but hopping off of the back, go ahead. He's going to stand fully, everything locked out at the top with those elbows up nice and tall to finish that rep all the way up, okay? So it's the end of a box jump except for the fact that you have something in that front rack position. So this is 9 left leg, 9 right leg. There's no requirement to alternate. You just have to make sure you get even work on both legs. Okay? Then you have your 18 overhead squats. You know, this is a tricky movement for a lot of people. Then throw in that it's one arm, and people get all kinds of goofy. So just make sure that you're truly taking your time on warming this up, making sure that you're not using something that causes any breakdown to the form. If your heels are coming off of the floor, that's a pretty good sign that you need to work on that mobility a little bit and having your arm up overhead while you try to pass the hips below parallel. So if you're seeing that happen, maybe you just use your hand in the sky for today, or maybe you go for a double arm apparatus and try to make sure that you're a little more symmetrical. So for his overhead squat, he is going to take that bell up into the same exact position that we just talked about for your overhead lunge. He is going to pass his hips back and down, maybe using that opposite hand as a little lever there to maintain balance. Hips go below that knee, and then he's going to stand nice and tall to finish that rep. Again, you have 9 on the left arm, 9 on the right arm. If you guys are doing double unders today, nice joke. Oh yeah, you're good. If you guys are doing, if you guys are not doing double unders today, then you had an or for 40 tuck jumps. Those tuck jumps are going to be your hands glued below your pectoral, and you are going to hop those knees as high as you can. Goal would be, or RX value would be, touching those knees to your chest. Very good, Joe. Good. So 40 of those if you do not have either a jump rope at home or have the space. It is snowing again outside. I don't know if it is where everybody is, but yeah, it's snowing again. So tuck jumps are permitted under RX. It would be 40 of them, and the RX value would be you actually making the knees to the height of your chest. Okay?
I think so. 3 rounds, right?
3 rounds. All right. It looks kind of short on paper, but I feel like it's still going to take me a weird amount of time just because, like, walking up the stairs takes a long amount of time. So I'm going to put this here. We're going to go ahead and warm ourselves up a little bit.
We're not going to open the door, right?
Maybe later.
I'm going to put the clock on while you start your warm up.
All right. If anybody has any questions, feel free to post them to the comments. We're keeping an eye out. What did you say about the clock?
I'm going to see if I can get it on the screen.
We're going to finish warming ourselves up, so you guys warm yourselves up with the actual movements, and then we'll get started in just a couple minutes.
Sorry, guys. I'm going to take up the camera space just for a second. I'm going to see if I can get a clock output on the screen while Kalina warms up. Okay. Any specific length, Kalina? Is an hour okay? Okay. I do Marcus and burpees over a ball?
I think we're there at the same time, we can share the water. Hi, Aaron. All right, guys, I'm gonna take a quick pee break and then we're gonna start when I get back. All right, guys, we're gonna get ourselves started.
Okay, you let me know when you're gonna start the clock. You good?
Like in a chair.
Wait for the dust. Don't lose that again, okay? Ooh, bar face versus bar a little bit. I could go like
I mean, it doesn't need to be like that, man.
right here. So I can do doubles back there, but not if you're right. I don't want to enter the market. Can you do it right there? Yeah. No bad. No bad. Okay. No bad. No bad. Okay. All right, guys. The way the clock's going to work is it'll have a 35-second count up, which will be our grace period before we start the workout, and it'll remain red, and then it will just count up. So hopefully it remains on the screen and everything goes okay. I don't foresee any problems. So I'm going to start that now. So we have a 35-second count up, and then it will count up for an hour. Starting with our front squats. Here we go. Five seconds. Go. 7, right? Try 7.
Walking though, you drunken though. 2 cents and now you want tripping though. You down and creeping. I see it on your naked though. You lonely though. You can fall. Sit down, you drunken though. Everybody outside, wanna pull up outside on my life. Everybody outside, everybody wanna smile, everybody wanna slide, that's life. Oh, now you wanna spill, oh, now you wanna build, oh, now you gotta spill, that's cool. Oh, now you gotta scare, oh, now you wanna laugh, oh, now you need to scare, that's cool. All you do is talk, I ain't got shit to say. Can't no one get in my mouth, I'ma give that way. Long discussion, oh, you might have done it. No, you wasn't. You just wanna lie. You just wanna talk about other shit, other shit, other shit. Start You just want to violently, come violently. That girl, she a lionessly, she a violently, that she jogging the streets. I'm just going, thinking like a fan, asking for a pickage. You should use phone call, Uber, you a goofy, think I don't know you need a lift. Is you is or is you ain't got gas money? No IOUs or debit cards, I need cash money. Back up, I need fix now. I need you to slow down, it's not a race now. Can't really hear what you gotta say now. Start again. This is what you call a trip. Take me from a car to play. Hit me from your mama whip. K.O.T.E. hard as shit. This is what you call a trip. Take me from a car to play. Hit me from your mama whip. K.O.T.E. hard as shit. This is what you call a trip. Take me from a car to play. Hit me from your mama whip. K.O.T.E. hard as shit. This is what you call a trip. Take me from a car to play. Hit me from your mama whip. K.O.T.E. hard as shit. Wow, niggas been cramping my style. Going my high, they wanna reply. The number one question is how? How does it feel? Now that you want, how much you work? I'm taking your home. How come you won't? Give a few features, I think you should. How about I don't? How about you just get the fuck on my dick? How about you listen and never forget? Only you'll say that from time that I'll get. Niggas ain't worthy to be on my shit. How about you heard I'm as cold as the tip? Tip of the iceberg, attendance I can't. Them tips around in my shit, bitch, I can't get rid of the fucking Atlantic, I'm lit. Bitch, this is what you call a flip. Take me from a car to play. Hit me from your mama with K.O.T.E. hard as shit. This is what you call a flip. Take me from a car to play. Hit me from your mama with K.O.T.E. hard as shit. This is what you call a flip. Take me from a car to play. Hit me from your mama with K.O.T.E. hard as shit. Feels like my load's been hot for so long. Thinking I'm a fucking fall off. It's so long. They sit in my head like a baby bone dead. Destination heaven. Sick politics, just for 9/11. The Lord's blessings leave me lyrically inclined. Shit, I ain't even got to try to shine. Cause the same strips that tailor fitted my pain. I got scriptures in my brain, I can spit it your day straight out the book. Look, niggas is shook. 50 no man warrior. Swing swords like Conan. Picture me, pen and hand, write lines, knowing the source of quoted. When I die, they'll read this and say it is rolling. I grew up without my pop shit, that make me bitter. I go places I got doctors that make me a quitter. In this white man's world, I'm similar to a squirrel. Looking for a slut with a nice butt to get a nut. If I get shot to make my phone to stop ringing again, this industry niggas ain't friends. If you home and your ass to get rolled. Feels like my clothes been hot for so long. Thinking I'm a fucking fall off. It's so long. You study if you home and your ass to get rolled. Feels like my clothes been hot for so long. Thinking I'm a fucking fall off. It's so long. Usually when you make it through all the hate and debate, whether or not it's relief and weather the storm. There's rain on the table, but I was praying the stage. It was like an angel came to you, said from the heavens above. They think they're crazy, but they ain't crazy. Let's face it, shit basically they just playing shit. They ain't shit, they ain't saying shit. Playing 50 cents to the game, getting the way I bring drain. And with me, and turn this day into fucking man. Staying with me, don't let me lose you. I'm trying to confuse you. When I generate those things, just do not get the message till I'm getting through to you. You know what's coming around. Motherfuckers don't even know to do. Take some millions apart, and you mix them up in a pot. Sprinkle a little big at the top. The fuck did you got? You got the realest and illest killers tied up in a knot. You're jumping out to this rap shit, like it or not. It's like a fight to the top, just to see who got it for the spot. You put your life in this. Nothing like surviving a shot. Y'all know what time it is. Soon as 50 signs in the sky. Shit, what you know about Jack Threat? Cause I get it right. Skate out, it's 80 seconds away from the time. Some cowards fall in the front building. They need to hit out. It's better to evacuate all children. Be a shot, cause there's nothing spookier. You're now about to witness the power. You study you home in your ass to get rolled. Feels like my clothes been hot for so long. Thinking I'm a fucking fall off. It's so long. It's wrong. The shots go off. It's 50. They say it's 50. See a nigga laid out on his fucking top blown off. It's 50. Man, what 50? Don't know how to manage those guns if you live in a glass house. And if you got a glass joke, you should watch your mouth. Cause I'll wipe your face. Have your ass running mama to the jail. You doing these media, you made it a mistake. I split your lily looking like the Michael Jackson jackets. With all them zippers. I'm boss on this road. And you call me skipper. The way I turn the money out. You should call me flipper. You're your regular bitch. You call it a right. I fucking feel fast. You keeping it icy. I'm down to sell records, but not my soul. Snoop said this in 94. We don't love them girls. I got bitch for my dogs, now I'm rich. See the 20 spin looking green on the six. Niggas wearing flags, cause the colors match their clothes. They be caught in the wrong room. They fill them with hoes, motherfucker. You study if you home in your ass to get rolled. Feels like my clothes been hot for so long. Thinking I'm a fucking fall off. It's so long. You study if you home in your ass to get rolled. Feels like my clothes been hot for so long. Thinking I'm a fucking fall off. It's so long.
If you got them? All right, so I was just gonna say, like, we stayed on here for our cash out yesterday. I thought that was like silly, and I don't think anybody wants to see us do our cash out. So, we're gonna sign off and say goodbye. One thing, two reminders real quick. Sign in to Wodify. That is super important. I want to see you guys are training. Check in on Facebook, COVID-19 relief. And then tomorrow we're going to do 10 a.m. kids, and we're going to do 11 a.m. team WOD. So definitely check in with us tomorrow. You know, I feel like these quarantine weekends are limited, so I guess we can enjoy these last few of them, I hope. But if you guys need anything, shoot us a text. There's Phrase right there. If anybody needs anything from him, let me know. Joe, you want to say bye to everybody? Or whoever's here? We're going to do our wall ball next. Happy Friday!
Well, guys, the camera didn't cut out, so that's good news. Thanks for working out with us. Like, second what Kalina said, make sure you check in. Make sure you log into Wodify. Thanks again for working out with us, and we will talk to you very soon.